Welcome to School Safety Today, a podcast brought to you by Raptor Technologies. I'm your host, Dr. Amy Grosso. I'm so excited for this special episode where we're talking about Raptor SchoolSAFE conference, and we're going to be joined by a variety of different educators talking to you about their experience. Our first guest is Rachel Freeman with Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. Rachel, can you talk about what you do at Carrollton Farmers Branch?
Of course. My title is the Executive Director of Safety and Security. I oversee a group of armed security individuals. I have about 55 to 60 armed staff. In addition to that, my department is responsible for conducting safety audits and door checks. Our span it includes construction projects. Anything that's technology related and security related is probably going to fall under my scope.
So a very broad range. So I'm curious, what has SchoolSAFE been like this year for you?
So SchoolSAFE has been a great conference so far. We've had the opportunity to participate in several sessions that have gotten a lot of good feedback and a lot of good information from.
Is there anything specific that you've learned or a session you went to that has been of particular interest to you that you know is going to be helpful?
Yes, so my district is about to deploy UnmissAble, and so I attended one session yesterday on UnmissAble, and I'm very excited to bring it back to the department and say all these things about how I learned about UnmissAble and how we're going to utilize it. So we're excited to get that rolled out. And then I attended a session this morning about behavioral threat assessment that I thought was very good as well.
So what I hear you saying too is that the information you're getting is on a variety of different topics.
Yes.
That then you can go back to your district and inform even individuals that haven't been here.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if you could talk some about if you've had the ability to network or collaborate with individuals outside of your district.
Of course. Raptor allows us the opportunity during our breaks and during our lunch and meal breaks to network with many different departments and districts and vendors. So I've had a lot of opportunity to just speak with other colleagues in the same profession on how they utilize Raptor, what they're doing, and several people that knew me from other conferences that I've attended, and I've had the ability to assist them in some of their issues as well.
I love that the connections you make then can be helpful down the line. If we have listeners that are wondering if they should go next year to SchoolSAFE, what would be your advice to them?
Well, I would highly recommend any training that you can attend in our roles. Our scope is so large and so vast that I feel that any training that's afforded to us is just great training. So absolutely.
Thank you so much. And just to wrap up, if you could use a word or phrase, and I know that's hard sometimes, but one word or phrase that has described your experience at SchoolSAFE this year, what would that be?
I think collaborative. We've had the ability to just network and meet other individuals in the same roles that I'm in. And so we've been able to just talk about some different things. For example, in our UnmissAble class, there were other staff members that had the same or very similar positions as I did. And they were troubleshooting through their scenarios that they experienced at their district, at their campuses, which were very similar and no different to what I experienced in mine. So it was good to hear their feedback and to hear how they were problem solving about that, and then kind of notate that so I can take it back to my district.
I love that the collaboration is the most valuable tool. And I love that in particular because I feel like oftentimes people in a role like yours, that it can seem sort of isolated. Like, do people really understand what I'm doing? And so SchoolSAFE sort of helped you feel like you're not alone and you can learn from others.
Absolutely.
Our next guest is Jason Overbay with Sarasota County Schools. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about what you do at your schools?
I'm the Director of Safety and Security for Sarasota County. I'm responsible for all of the safety measures and equipment inside the schools, as well as we have a police force and an unarmed security force inside the schools. I'm also responsible for Florida state compliance laws. Florida's very progressive in school safety, and so my job is to make sure that we meet and exceed all state standards.
So what I'm hearing you say is your job has a lot of responsibility.
Certainly does, yeah.
So how has a conference like SchoolSAFE been to you in your particular position?
This conference has been great. It has a lot of speakers that you don't normally hear on these national type conferences. So I've learned a great deal of new things, and there's been so much networking time. So I'm meeting people from different parts of the country and learning how they're doing things at their school districts.
Well, it's probably nice with that networking is meeting with people that understand the responsibility that you're on, that they get it and they say, yeah, I see you. I feel it too.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I'm curious, is there a particular session or something you've learned or a moment from the conference that really sticks out to you?
It's really the networking for me. There's been a lot of great instructors that I've learned a great deal from. But just when that class is over, and the other classes before they begin, or the opportunity to be down in the room with all the exhibitors, just talking to other people about what they do, what kind of services they have, the different types of security measures they're employing, that's been invaluable.
Well, and I imagine in your role at Sarasota, you don't have a lot of time to do that kind of networking and talking on a day in and day out basis just because of your responsibility.
No, it's all pretty much dealing with whatever fires come up at that time.
So it's probably nice to just have this time to be like, I can connect with people. I can learn from them. They can learn from me. Like I get to share the great things we're doing.
Yes, I have really enjoyed this conference.
I'm wondering if there's one word or phrase that comes to your mind when you think about SchoolSAFE this year.
It's just a really great conference. I'm not sure I could go with one word to describe what it is. It's just like the Raptor people here, they're so friendly, and if you're standing over to the side, they'll grab you and bring you over to somebody and introduce you. It's just it's really family, I guess is a word to describe it, because Raptor really makes you feel like part of their family, no matter how many, if you use any of their services or not. And they're always trying to make sure you're having a good time and learning here at this conference.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today.
I appreciate it.
Our next guest is Marty Nearing. She is at West Aurora School District. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Can you talk a little bit about what you do at your district?
Sure. So, like I said, I'm the Executive Director of Student and Family Services, and so my team focuses on student residency, registration, discipline, policies and compliance, and then all things school safety.
So a very broad umbrella of the things you manage every day.
Very broad, yes. And I've left out a few things, but yeah.
It's that other duties is other duties is assigned.
Yes, my boss will sometimes refer to me as Marty Messy. So all the messy things.
Oh,
right?
That's a nice way.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
I'm wondering what it's been like for you being here at SchoolSAFE.
Sure. So it's my second year. So I was really excited to come back. I just appreciate the fact that I can be in a room with school safety professionals who all are just so focused on the safety of children. Yeah. So.
When I wonder if you saying that your boss says like anything messy comes to you, is it nice to be with like other people who handle all the messy stuff?
Absolutely. It's nice to be able to sit down in a room and just have a conversation with people, and you don't have to really start over. You don't even have to explain who you are or what you do. Like they just get it. I'm curious, has there been a specific session or content or something you've learned that really sticks out to you from this year? Sure. So it's been a great couple of days. Obviously, Admiral McRaven, his session was amazing. So I really appreciate hearing him say, give more than you get. And I think that that's something that I will, take with me moving forward. As far as the sessions, I think they've been extremely engaging. I appreciate the fact that I was able to really customize my track. I came focused on behavioral threat assessment and visitor and volunteer management. So I'm excited to be headed back with some great content to help move my organization forward. Well, even hearing you say that, for someone like you that does have this broad umbrella of everything you see, that you don't have to pick one thing, that you're like, yes, I want threat assessment, but then I also do visitor and volunteer management. Right. I can go to sessions on a variety of different topics to help on key aspects I'm working on or I want to learn more about. Correct. Yes. Can you talk some about like the networking or collaborative opportunities you have here at the conference? Yeah, so I think, it's especially now in a time when our country really seems to be this way and that way. I think it's really nice to be able to come and sit down in a room and collaborate with people who, think similarly and, like I said, are very focused on school safety. And that alone just gives me hope.
That's a pretty powerful thing to say, that a conference can give you hope. Another guest said that they go back rejuvenated, that working in the messiness all the time can be so draining, but to have this opportunity to be here, connect with others, that I have the hope, I have the energy to go back and continue to do the hard work where, like it's even, you said, the Admiral said yesterday, you give more than you ever get.
More than you get, right?
Yep. And for that not to seem daunting for this moment, but to seem like I have the energy to go back and do it.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
For kids.
Well, thank you so much for talking and sharing your experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Our next guest is Dr. Penny Schultz with Chesapeake City Schools. Welcome, Penny. Can you explain a little bit about what you do at your schools?
So I oversee all of the safety and security processes, protocols, initiatives that we have across our district for all 48 schools.
So you're really busy, aren't you?
Every day.
I'm curious, when we think about SchoolSAFE, like what's been your overall impression of the conference this year?
It's been a great experience. I welcome the opportunity to come together. I think the most remarkable piece of it, the sessions are fantastic, but the most remarkable piece is you have 1,000 dedicated, professionals, and we all get to come together and collaborate and build relationships that from last year even to this year that have been long-lasting relationships that we collaborate and share materials. And, it's not just about my school is great and we're doing this. It's what are we doing for all kids across the states and how do we make it better?
Well, and I love you talked about, you came last year and you were able to form some collaborative friendships. And now you can come back and say, we've helped each other through the year. And, with our last guest, we were talking about so often being in school safety can be sort of isolating. And so how wonderful to feel like you're not alone and that you can phone a friend even once you get back home.
Correct.
Has there been any specific session or content that you've learned that you're like, that's something really good that I want to think about or take back?
So I'm not saying this because you're interviewing me, but I really enjoyed your session on providing student supports for our kiddos. One thing I think across the board when we say school safety, our mind always instantly goes to the worst possible tragic scenario. And we often forget that it doesn't start there. So I appreciated your session because, yes, are there ways and are there tools that exist out there that we can start looking at critical moments in a child's life or how minor or major they are and what we can do proactively to begin to support and help that child before that child ends up in crisis, regardless if it's personal crisis or crisis threats initiated towards someone else. So I really welcomed that, and then the tools that are offered and afforded that can help streamline that for our staff within buildings, and I mean not just the teachers, right? Anybody, anyone can start to say, hey, I noticed this about a child, and then those that need to see it,
right,
and can address it. So I appreciated that session.
So, and even realizing, like you said, like sessions that touch on different aspects of school safety that I say sometimes even the public thinks school safety is very much one little thing.
Right.
Like, is it bullet resistant glass or a fence? But you're saying, realizing that school safety is also realizing when a kid's in distress or even before they're in distress, they're showing us these little signs that maybe they're not okay.
Right. And, we always talk about, you're right. I think after a tragic event that happens, schools and systems instantly jump on what do we need to do to harden the school and protect our kids, which is great because, there are pieces of that you have to do. But then there are other pieces like the relationship building because, 90% of what we deal with in schools and 90% of the things that we thwart or address are out of see something, say something. And those pieces come from building relationships.
Absolutely. And for our listeners to know that you started, you've been a school principal.
Yes.
And so those relationships you understand are so critical that without them, kids aren't going to tell us things.
Right.
And then when we see things, they're not going to trust us for that intervention part.
Correct.
If you think of one word or phrase to describe your experience at SchoolSAFE this year, what would it be?
I mean, my brain keeps just going to something basic, like it's excitement, right? It's a moment that you can come and you're rejuvenated because the work you do is exhausting. It is great work, and I wouldn't choose to do anything else, but it is exhausting. So to come to be at a place like this where you get to experience the gamut of all that is school safety, and it's not just safety directors, like all educated professionals should come and benefit from something like this. But it rejuvenates you, and it's. I mean, I can equate it to that preschool week when you're real excited, when all your teachers are coming back, and you're really, But that's what this affords for, to us in those sometimes siloed jobs. When you're dealing with a lot of the bad stuff that happens on a day-to-day basis.
I love you said excitement, that it is rejuvenating, that you're right, the work we do is hard and it can be tough. And so to have these moments where we're still learning new things and exploring new things, but yet at the same time, my cup feels completely filled. Yeah. And so I can sustain the work we do. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Of course. And we'll be back with another guest. Our final guest is Todd Brindle with Dayton Schools in Kentucky. Welcome, Todd.
Welcome, Amy.
I'm good. Can you talk a little bit about what you do for your schools?
I'm the school resource officer. I've been there 4 years. I retired as a police chief of Erlanger PD, and I was an SRO from 1999 to 2010 in Erlanger Ellesmere School District, and I'm back. And it was my favorite job I ever had, and I love being a school resource officer.
That's, I hear so many school resource officers that it's so different than being a police officer in a different setting.
Oh, it's completely different. A lot of guys don't like dealing with the kids, but, I will say real quick, like just past week and a half, I had 3 incidents where a little boy came to school in elementary and they had a superhero day. And the teacher sent me a picture and he had a T-shirt with Officer B on it. Had no idea. So, but I have a Down syndrome girl that's in my special needs class, and I love her to death. She don't talk at school, ever. And I walked outside the other day, and I was going to my car, and as I'm going around the front of the car, I hear, "Hey, cop!" And I looked, and I see a car over on the street, and I'm like, I can't really see real well, and I'm like, another guy comes out, I'm like, "Is that Maddie over there?" And sure enough, it was her. And I drove over, and I said, "Hey, girl." And her dad, said, "Hey, he acknowledged you," and she said, "Hey." And then he said, "She said something else before." And I said, "I know, it's the first time she's talked to me in 4 years." So that was pretty cool.
Well, and I think what you're saying too, and I hear so many people, especially SROs, talking about it's more than just a job.
It's definitely more a job. It's not, I think a lot of times you see school resource officers that get into it and they're kind of young and they want to go in there and be a policeman. And it's really not about being a policeman to me. I mean, yes, you do have to sometimes arrest somebody or charge them, but luckily I'm in a smaller district and pretty good kids. But, it's more about making the relationships, and just being involved. And, when I was younger and I could be a little more movable, I played dodgeball all the time and did different things with the kids, field trips. Don't get to do those much anymore because they don't want you leaving the building as much. But yeah, it's a completely different part of law enforcement, but it's truly a important part because when you're building those relationships in there, you're helping the guys out on the street because you're giving a little bit more where these kids understand where you guys come from. Don't give them as much grief and a little more respect and they're not having to come to school every day to deal with problems with the kids because you're handling it. So I think it's an important part of that.
Well, what you're describing is a lot of preventative, which I know
yes.
SchoolSAFE, we've talked a lot about that. I'm wondering for you, what has SchoolSAFE been like this year?
Oh, it's a great conference. The vibe. Just walking in first day, music's going, the lights, the screens, the facility here at Domney is really first notch place. Breakfast, lunch, the food's really good. And the vendors, we had, I think there's 40 something vendors. I went to every booth and talked to each one and getting to meet those and see the new stuff that's out there. But, just having the way they put the conference on with the workshops, so many workshops to do. And then having the happy hour to bring you into the vendors section, meet with those people because, they're the ones helping put this on. And you get to go meet them and make some connections there. while you're also getting to meet new people from around the country here at the conference. So I said it on the webinar this summer, if you can come, because it was well worth it. And being only the second year that Raptors put it on, it's pretty top notch.
Something you've said, and everybody I've talked to today has said, is that this networking and meeting people who are across the country doing this similar work is one of the best parts of what you gain from SchoolSAFE.
Always. I mean, getting to meet different people, you know, from big districts to small districts, but you also get the same problems. You know, my wife's an assistant principal in a big school, high school. They have the same problems we have, just, you know, have 4 times as many kids. Yeah. But yeah, when you're here and you're getting to meet different people, running your ideas, and then you get to hear what they're doing, you're like, oh man, that's really a good idea. So you get to take that back to your district and try to improve stuff there.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if there's a specific session or something you've learned, a workshop that really has stuck out to you this year.
Oh, Admiral McRaven. That was probably one of the better sessions I've ever seen. And his message was strong, but it wasn't like he was forceful about it. It was just simple talking about basic things of life, but the message was so clear, and it really makes you sit and think about things, you know. And he was just really very powerful yesterday, and you could hear everybody there, quiet as can be, listening. And I think that for sure that's the best part of the conference I had.
You know, it's interesting. Some others have said that, and I know, you know, I've gone to lots of conferences for a variety of different things, not just school safety, and I keep going back to he's one of the best speakers I've ever heard. Not just because he was a great speaker, but also the content, like you said, delivering a message that I think was applicable to everybody in that room.
Yes. And
I left feeling empowered and full of a lot of hope.
I mean, you know, I thought the one part where the gentleman from the SEAL, Vietnam SEAL, that had a bicycle rack, you know, he's you know, paralyzed, never complained. And I was thinking, yeah, because it doesn't matter. Life ain't fair. And it made me think back to some things that have happened to me in my career that I'm still upset about, you know, and it's like, man, it really doesn't matter. He's right. It doesn't matter. It's not fair. Just move on. And so it made me think about things like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, if you could pick a word or phrase to describe this year's SchoolSAFE, what would it be?
It's exciting, fun. It's just upbeat here. It really is. You know, you got all the workers from Raptor, which I find very surprising that the company brings this many employees here, but it's so much fun to get to meet people that you've talked to on emails and you've gone through Zoom calls or whatever, but you really just not got to meet them. So here you get to come down firsthand, face to face, sit down, talk, get to meet them in person. And I think that makes a huge difference to everybody because, you know, I don't know if you know, but 20 years ago, I put in Raptor vSoft into Erlanger Ellesmere schools. And one of the things I said back then was customer service was why I liked Raptor so much. And today I was talking to a gentleman and we were talking about different things. And I said that exact same thing. And he agreed. He's like, yeah, that's what we like about it too, is you get a person. They're very helpful. Somebody's always trying to get you and not going through the phone line of getting transferred. Yeah. So that's a huge thing.
Well, you know, and I think we do that because we know the hard work y'all are doing on campuses every day across the United States, and what can we do? What are those small things we can do to make your job easier? Because there's nothing more important than keeping our kids safe, and that's what you're doing every day and what you've given sounds like your whole career to. So those little things we can do at Raptor are important to us to help you.
And you're doing a good job of that. You really are. And you know, another thing I like about Raptor is constant improvement. You know, just going through and day one, hearing some of the new things coming out is like, wow, that's really good. So we're not dissatisfied with where we're at, constantly integrating with some of these other companies and learning, oh, we have that product, now we can do this. So I think that's another positive thing for Raptor.
Well, I really appreciate you spending time sharing your experience, your passion, and why SchoolSAFE has been important to you this year.
Well, thanks. Appreciate being here.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us for another episode of School Safety Today. Please remember to like us on your preferred podcast platform so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Thank you.